Design Tea. We're going to talk about KPIs, how it allows you to move forward by understanding it. If you don't know your KPIs, then you're not able to know how to reach your goals. So there is Elizabeth from Cinquini Design. She loves it when I say her name my own way. I spent all morning working on looking at like this past year. Where did leads come from? How many leads did I get? Where did they originate from? Where were people finding me? And how many, not just where, because I track my leads and where they're coming from, but now I looked at, okay, so how many did move forward with me? How many did an interior design consultation with me? And then how many moved forward with me? And then looking at, okay, the ones that did move forward, where did they come from? And, when I was just looking at the other numbers, it was like, okay, my leads came mainly from Google Ads, which were good. It got me a lot of leads. This is true. It got me a lot of leads. But then going deeper into the numbers, which I hadn't done before, partly because you have to have some data to look at it. Like you have 10 leads. It's hard to say, okay, where's the data? Because you could be from 6 different sources, right? It could be referrals, Google Ads, could be website, social media. It could be a different kind of referral, like a business network, right? Versus a client referral. And what were some of the other referral sources? Social media, web, Google Ads, Google search, house profile. You have a house profile, right? And so really then breaking it down. And if you only have a few little leads, if you're just starting out, it may be difficult to do this, but it still means that if you only have 10 leads or you only had 20 leads, it's going to at least show you, okay, 2 of those 20 or maybe 5 of those 20 came from one source, but 5 is like a little indication. Okay, that's where more of your leads are coming from. So we broke that down and looked at what source did they come from and what do I double down on in terms of marketing, in terms of where I'm spending my marketing dollars and my time. And also, so then it made me realize, okay, where I need to spend my time. It also made me realize that I am not marketing to those, not even marketing. I'm not continuing to foster those relationships as much as I should, not realizing, okay, that is actually a big source for me. And I'm kind of missing out on that potential source. And not because, and that source actually, as it turned out for me was, I'm talking a lot, but you can interrupt in a minute, was past clients, right?
Okay.
So client referrals. And I thought, well, okay, there are some clients that are doing that, but there's even other clients that have worked with me and loved working with me that I have like just sort of I haven't stayed connected with. And maybe they're not referral sources, but I guarantee that if they worked with me and they like me, that when they may have just forgotten, and I am not on their radar.
Yeah.
And so I need to continue to stay in front of them to say, hey, I'm here. And if, you may not have a project, but maybe someone know has a project, or I could help someone that which is so much stronger than, getting a lead from a Google ad, for instance. I'm not saying Google ad are bad. So took a lot of effort. We did a lot of spreadsheets.
Okay.
Got a lot of numbers.
Okay.
But it wasn't just numbers. What I thought was interesting, it was also the percentages. Like, okay, I got so many leads from Google Ads. Great. But what
Did they convert?
But did they convert? And then what did they convert to? Because I have a bunch of different products. I have a do-it-yourself.
Right.
I have a hourly. I have elite, and that makes a difference because if the lead source is only sending me do-it-yourself,
Yeah.
I don't want to be there. Like
Exactly.
I want to be on elite. So who is sending me these elite design
So were
services?
you getting it from Google search or no? The Elite?
Well, I have another product which is called Design on Demand, and that's minimum 20 hours.
Okay.
So I was getting more of those kind of projects.
Okay.
So which is like 20 hours. And then the client can stop after 20 hours. But I usually tell them, look, it's probably going to take more than 20 hours once I see the kind of work that we're going to do. I'm saying, I'll do 20 hours. And if we need more time, we'll do another 20 hours. We'll do it in increments of 10 or 20, depending on what the project is.
Okay.
So that was interesting to do that because I really hadn't delved so deep. And then it made us realize, okay, we need to do different spreadsheets for next year so that we'd have to spend hours
Yeah.
this year, but to catch up. And
Okay.
also, we are looking at some other data too. Like,
Okay.
where did most of the revenue come from? Where was the revenue from? Was it from design fees? Was it from product? And then where were those projects?
So what did you find was your best referral source?
Client referral. Some business.
Okay.
So, and that's actually something I'm doubling down on this year is the networking and building relationships. That's part of what I'm thinking about doing. And I've joined a networking group. Actually, I'm in two other networking groups, Chamber of Commerce. Of course, you've talked about the Builders Association that you are the president of on the board.
I'm on the board of directors, not the president, but I'm on the board of directors. But yeah,
Soon to be president, I'm sure.
um, I found that organization to be really beneficial.
Yeah. So, and looking at those kind of sources for helping clients really enjoy their homes because ultimately, that's what it is. It's bringing value to not just their real estate investment, but to their life, not right?
Yeah,
It's their
of course.
life. Yeah. So, yeah, really, really looking at that this year. And that was the start of the year. And it's like, one of my mentors is always going on about KPIs. And I think we've talked about this before. The reason was it's hard to have KPIs, like I said, if you
Yeah.
don't have that abundance of information, if you haven't collected it, or if you haven't started collecting it, or you haven't thought about collecting it, right?
I find definitely obviously client referrals is the best, but business networking also. And then a lot of people find me on Facebook. Those are like the top 3.
So, what do you do on Facebook? Tell me about that.
Well, that's the interesting part. A lot of times I don't know how they find me through Facebook,
What do you
but
mean you don't know how they find you?
so it's probably through I told you I'm part of a lot of like Facebook group, like moms groups.
Okay.
So, I mean, each one of those groups probably has hundreds of women in them. So, once a month, say, like I post my service in there. So I think people find me that way. But it's like they could see me post, 2 months ago. And then
Taking notes. Sorry.
because I actually had a client call me right before the holidays who said that she was looking for interior designers here in Naples. I thought this was interesting. And she did a Google search and she went through like 40 designers' websites here in Naples. And she just didn't feel connected to any of them based on whatever it was their style or what they were saying on their website. She's
Right.
just like, I did not feel like any of them were a good fit for me.
Right.
And she's like, I didn't find you through Google.
Mm,
Then she started like searching, I think, through Facebook. And she's like, that's where I found you. And then I went on your website and I like really liked your style and, everything that you were talking about. And so she reached out to me that way. But she's like, I had went through 40 designers first,
right.
looking through their stuff. And then I found, so I was like, I'm actually meeting with her this week. I thought that was interesting because I've never had any, I'm like, wow, you really like had to dig
Did your
deep to
deep
find me.
Yeah, you did your deep dive looking
Yeah.
for me.
So, but that's really good because, you're niching down and really standing out. So that was good for me because I felt like, okay, well, I'm conveying what I need to convey for me to stand, apart from what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, and to attract the kind of clients that you wanna
Exactly.
do, right? Because not everybody's gonna be your client. I mean, they're
100%. 100%. And you probably feel the same way. Like by the time the client reaches out to us, we already want them to know about us, been on our website or, spoken to somebody that's worked with us so they get an idea of like our personality, our style. So we don't have to really sell them. It's
right.
more like
Well,
a
now it's
vibe
like
and a connection, you
yeah,
know?
it's like creating that relationship, like,
Yeah.
you've checked me out, you see that, is there connection? Because
Yeah.
it's gonna be an intimate relationship. I mean, you're gonna find out lots of things about them, and that's the only way to do it if you're gonna do a good design for them. You gotta
Yeah.
know their lifestyle and what they need, what they like, what they want, how they live.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And then I actually had someone else reach out to me who is working on a renovation. He had hired another designer I guess it's not going well. And so then she reached out to me, just asking about how it would work if she ended up switching designers, and then ends up sending me an email that the construction bid that they got was like super high. So if I had recommendations for contractors. So I don't know how you handle these type of situations, but I decided that I am not going to like give referrals, so like give out my trades information unless I'm on the project.
Yeah.
So
Agree.
that's just something that I won't do because when you take us out of it, the client experience could be different and we can't control that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So I had to reply and say, basically like, this is my process. This is how we start. Like, we need to do this consultation or whatever it is. And then based on me finding out from you what you want, your scope of the work, like we need to do a deep dive. And then based on that, I would bring in the right contractor that I think would fit your project, your personality, and what you want the best. So it's not like give me a contractor referral. Like I feel like if somebody asks and you just send one and you don't really know what the job is because there are different contractors that would be better for different
Yeah.
projects.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. I agree because, you just feel, I mean, the number of contractors that I work with, I just feel like, oh, this one is a better, like just a better scope of work for this or
Yeah, they have
style or
different
whatever it
strengths for
is.
different
Yeah,
specialties.
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like a
So,
one size fits all, and I think that's where people have problems because they're just looking for, "Just give me contractors," or they base their decision on pricing when they're not really looking at the details and
right. Well,
the
I mean,
different.
it's the same thing as someone saying to me, I just need some furniture in my house. I'm like, you're not getting the value of my me. Like, you're paying
Yeah,
for to have furniture in your house. Like,
yeah,
that's not the value. I can put furniture in your house, sure, if that's what you want, although I don't like just doing that. But it's like,
mhm,
okay, what's the vision and, like,
yeah,
where are the completeness and the details that actually make it the design, like,
yeah,
not design worthy, that elevate it to the level it like, that space deserves and you deserve. I don't know, and, like, that I do. I'm
yeah,
not
there
just
needs to be a direction, there
yeah,
needs to be conversations, it's not just, yeah, design for me, go,
right, I
there.
have a couch and a chair and, like, put the rest of the
Exactly.
furniture yeah, because it's not that. Yeah, it's not that. So, we agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so KPIs, what else for the beginning of the year? It's the beginning of the year. People are thinking about growing, about big ideas, about what they're doing and, like, how to move forward, how to get themselves known? I say known and people say, "What are you talking about? Known?" Like, it's Canadian, known. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think it's also, like, good to when you're ending one year and starting another to think about, like, "Okay, I'm gonna 'cause this is what I did. I'm going into the new year knowing that, okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore, or I wanna start fresh here." Like,
Right. What
setting
worked?
boundaries, right? What
What
worked? What do
didn't
you
work?
want it more of? What maybe do you wanna scale back from doing? And really structure your business that way, and then the content that you put out to really focus on what you're doing for the new year,
Mhm.
you
I
know?
mean, it has to be intentional.
Exactly.
Like our mentor, Grant Cardone, says, if you don't have a target, if you don't have a goal, then how can you hit it?
Yeah.
So I find, and it's the same for design too. If we don't have a vision, how can we create it? Right. And that's why I don't like to just put furniture in a room because it's not that. It's like, okay, I have this vision. How do I create it? And then every decision builds on that. And
Yeah.
sometimes, things will take you away. Oh, this is so pretty thing over here. But when the decision is like, "Okay, Risha, like, does that really work? Or are you just in love with that dumb furniture?" It's like, not dumb, but, like, "Have you just got and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, come back," and that's the same thing with, like, business. If you don't have a goal, a target,
Yeah.
whether that is like, "Okay, I wanna have double amount of clients, X amount of revenue," whatever your goal is, then how do you know if you hit it? How do you know if you're actually moving in the right direction for that? Just to say, "Okay, I wanna get bigger or I wanna do more." What does that mean? Because you may have 6 clients and then you do 7 clients. Well, you will have done more.
Yeah.
But is that gonna make you is that gonna make you, like, viable business? And is that really what you wanted?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So part and parcel, that was the reason why I was like, okay, look at my numbers. Where am I going? What am I doubling down on to reach my goals for this year? And, how am I
So
going
what
to,
are you doubling down on then?
what am I doubling down on in terms of my goals, or what is my goal?
Your goal.
My goals. My goal for this year is to, well, Grant says go 10x. I was like, do $5 million gross. That would be my goal. And like, what's it going to take to get there? Oh, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. But that's okay because,
That's
like, so
good.
now I'm really like, so, in the midst of this doing the KPIs and coming to some realizations and thinking about, and part of this is like thinking, okay, I got to work on more on my relationship, the networking. And I got a call from a local magazine or something. And they were like, hey, we're looking for sponsorship for the magazine, local magazine and blah, blah, blah. And we can go over the rates with you and tell you what you get and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't have the time or money this year for that because I've looked at it. Granted, I didn't do any print advertising last year, but I'm like after looking at my numbers and thinking about it, I was like, this is not where I want to be. So like I was able to cut off that conversation
Yeah, that's
much
good.
quicker. Whereas in the past, I'm like, okay, I gotta spend some marketing dollars on something. I gotta do something.
Yeah,
So I'm like, throwing spaghetti at the wall.
right. Yeah,
And this time it was much easier to make that decision and be solid in my decision.
yeah. I
Because it's like, okay, that's not where, after looking at all of this, that's not where I
Mhm.
should be.
Yeah, I agree with you because 'cause I've done some print advertising in the past, and same thing, I feel like it really isn't a good ROI on it, so I decided not to, do that.
And
And
I'm sure there is an ROI on it for some people because some companies do that. I
yeah,
just think that it's not the right move for me right at the moment. And
agreed.
that may change. I said, look at that may change. Next year I may be really interested in doing,
Yeah,
but not right now. So
yeah, exactly.
but I could only do that because I set my target, my goals. I started
Mhm.
looking at, okay, what did I do last year? What worked? What didn't work? And then double
Yeah,
down on the stuff that worked and got rid of the stuff that, just put aside because
yeah,
I don't think it doesn't not work. Like Google Ads in this case, it doesn't
mhm.
not work. But right now, the the ROI isn't what I want. And there's going to be a point in time that will change. But just not right now. So that's what I've got for the new year.
Okay. Well,
Now,
I have some news.
some news. We love news. Bring it on here on the Design Tea to January 2026.
So, I made the decision not to move forward with the collaboration on the showroom project.
Okay. Well, good
Um
to know.
So I made that decision, before the end of the year. It just
Wasn't
wasn't,
fitting.
yeah, it just wasn't aligned with where I'm going. So on to different things.
Yeah. Well, good
But
for you.
I think, you have to make hard decisions sometimes and things start out one way and you really think it's going to be great. And then as you kind of like progress along, you're like, maybe this is not the right thing for me at this point.
Right.
And so I think, just being able to really get to know like where you are, where you want to go, is this aligned, and being able to make that decision is really important. So,
I, I mean, I think it's constantly, not constantly because it can take up a lot of time, but reevaluating where you are based on where your goals are. And, there are situations or I had this conversation over the holiday. People just saying, "Oh, I'm open to these opportunities and going to come in and I can't plan because they're going to come at me and then I can decide and it's going to move this way." And I'm like, yeah, but the difference is when you have a goal and you have these opportunities coming at you,
Mhm.
like you may pick the wrong one or the one that doesn't work. But you can also say, as it's coming, you're open to it. It's like evaluate that based on the information that you have and say, huh, that's not really the direction. That's not the direction I want to go. I want
Yeah.
to be in this direction. This is where I'm focusing my time. So those ideas are not taking up your time and money because you've already you have an intention of where you want to be, what you want to do, and it's much easier to make a decision. So,
Absolutely.
because I agree, I think you should be open to opportunities,
Yeah, of
possibilities.
course.
Not all of them are going to be good. And you're going to probably make mistakes. Actually, not. You will, because we all do. And you make a
Yeah,
mistake, you start
sure.
down a path, and you're like, oh my God, where am I?
Yeah,
And then you just say, okay, well, got to turn around, go back.
exactly.
So, well, good. New opportunity, something else I'm sure will come up. You got lots of things on your plate.
Yeah, I do. And, certain things end, other things begin. That's just the cycle. So it's all
Yeah.
good. Now I'm going to be on the board of directors for the CBIF. So that'll open up a lot more opportunities and get me involved in different aspects of the building
Yeah.
industry here. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
So we're here, Design Tea. We meet every Tuesday or when we can. We try to be consistent and we try to be on time. Doesn't
Yes.
always work. I'm getting more technologically savvy, so that helps us.
Yes.
But if anybody is interested and has questions, we just talk about topics that are about interior design and about the business of interior design and how that works, because a lot of interior designers are small businesses.
Small businesses.
And navigating that can be
Challenge.
exhausting and lonely. And it's nice to be able to go somewhere and hear what other people are doing. And Elizabeth and
Challenges
I,
that they're facing and what's going on.
right.
It's relatable. Everyone goes through it. So,
Yeah. And it's
and
nice
it's
to
nice
know
to
that
know
you
that
are
you
not
are not
alone. Believe
alone.
me, you are
Believe me,
not
you are not.
alone. There are a lot of
There are a lot
people.
of people.
One thing I learned too is that, interior design, people think is very creative and you have to do lots of different things. And yes, that's
And yes, it's
true,
true,
but it
but
is
it is
still a
still a
business.
business.
So 80% of it is really the business. Then there's a
Then
20%, which is the creative design aspect.
Mhm.
But you got to do the 80%.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't have a business. You have a hobby
Yes.
or a sidekick that you will be funding that you don't want, with your time and energy and money. So you don't want that. Yeah. So I'm in a group of an International Vegan Interior Design Association, which is a vegan
Vegan
interior designers from
hours
around the
from
world.
the
We
world
meet
we
every
meet every Tuesday.
Tuesday and we're talking about vegan interior design. So we have some interesting projects coming up with that big project that we're going to be working on this year that hopefully I can share once we get a little more form to it, but I'm excited about that.
Well,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Yeah. It's always fun to do big ideas, do new things. With that group, it's really, for me, it's about spreading and making the world vegan, changing the world and making it vegan, because I've been vegan for over 11 years. And, one of my goals is to make the world vegan. If anybody wants to join me, making it vegan, you're always welcome.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it. I think I'm done. Anything else you want to add, Elizabeth?
No, I think that's it for this week.
Yeah. And if you have anything you want to talk about, let us know, because you can DM us.
PMS? Yeah.
We're happy to chat about it.
Yeah, you can give us topics.
Yeah. We're here on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
So we'll see you next week.
Thanks so much, everybody.